Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. XRP aims for new yearly highs despite mounting uncertainty. The controversy around Ripple's XRP token continues to unravel, with the company incentivizing its partner to use its cross-border payment solutions, consequently flooding the token's market supply. Regardless of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, the FUD around this cryptocurrency, a renowned analyst believes that it could be bound for a substantial upswing. Compensating those who use Ripple's services, Ripple has been in the headlines over the last week following a series of events that are directly related to its native cryptocurrency XRP. On February 26, for instance, MoneyGram revealed the payments from Ripple totaling $11.3 million over the last 2 quarters of 2019. A spokesperson from the DLT, or the Distributed Ledger startup, Ashish Birla, confirmed that the two firms were building new infrastructure together. Birla affirmed that the payments were being used to fund the work, effort, and resources of this market development. A tweet from Ashish Birla states, "Always with the hysteria first, Ripple and MGI are strategic partners. We are building new infrastructure together, and this market development requires a ton of work, effort, and resources. Surprise, that costs money." Nonetheless, some of the most prominent figures in the crypto community question whether Ripple was paying MoneyGram to use its cross-border remittance services in a 10-K filing. MoneyGram appears to have answered this question by stating that these payments represented a bonification for increasing liquidity for XRP in international markets. The company is compensated by Ripple and XRP for developing and bringing liquidity to foreign market exchange markets facilitated by the ODL, Ripple's on-demand liquidity platform, and providing a reliable level of foreign exchange trading activity, and we refer to this compensation as market development fees, reads the document. Additionally, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, indicated that his firm was using XRP to incentivize companies that use its remittance solutions. The size of the incentives depends upon the shape and size and type and how high a priority these companies are, he explained. Garlinghouse also disclosed that while his business was cash flow positive, a large chunk of its profits came from selling XRP. While XRP is one source of our cash flow, if you took away our software revenues, that would make us less profitable. If you take away all of our XRP, that makes us less profitable, said Garlinghouse. Flooding the market with XRP, since Ripple depends on the sale of XRP to be profitable, it seems like the firm will continue to put more tokens in circulation, adding to the $1,220 million worth of USD in tokens that it has sold since 2016. Moreover, a recent report revealed that some of the firm's founding members are also increasing the amount of tokens available in the market. Jed McCaleb, Ripple's founder and former CTO, allegedly sold 1.05 billion XRP between 2014 and 2019. This excessive amount of tokens at an average price of 0.129 is equivalent to $135 million. Despite the massive sell-off, McCaleb reportedly continues to sell his holdings, and during the first month of 2020, he seems to have sold 19 million XRP and has another 4.7 billion tokens in his power that are worth over 1 billion USD. Arthur Brito, Ripple's co-founder, could also help increase XRP's circulating supply, since he also holds billions of XRP in escrow that will become available very soon. and a further increase in supply combination with the ongoing lawsuit that claims XRP tokens are unregistered securities could potentially upend and threaten to destroy the established XRP market, wiping out the value held by the alleged thousands of individual XRP holders around the world, as Ripple stated. And I'll say that right now to dispute that FUD. That's not happening. It doesn't matter if it was labeled, pardon me. It doesn't matter if it was labeled a security. We just went through that with EOS, and actually immediately after they were labeled a security, they paid a small fine and their price actually increased and went up. So that's the last of anyone's concerns in regards to Ripple. Whatever they choose to label it is irrelevant. But we all know it would be closer to a commodity than a security. Dave the Wave, a chartist and swing trader, recently pointed out that there is a high possibility that XRP could be forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern on its one-day chart. This technical formation is considered to be one of the most reliable trend reversal patterns, and at current XRP appears to be forming the right shoulder of the bullish pattern, which suggests that a pullback to the neckline could take place very soon. A bullish impulse that allows this cryptocurrency to close above the neckline at around 33 cents USD could trigger a 47% upswing. The XRP then could surge to around 49 cent USD if the inverse head and shoulders pattern is confirmed. This target is determined by measuring the distance between the head and the neckline and adding that distance down from the breakout point. Another point I meant to add in the article where it states about so much selling of XRP, etc., etc., etc. Remember, if you own diamonds and you are the diamond broker, diamond seller, those diamonds are not your security. They're part of your your commodity, so to speak. They're one of your products. If you are Exxon and you own oil, that is neither a security. It's also not a security. That is again part of your product. So just because Ripple holds the amount of XRP that they hold does not make that its security, and it's obvious even from the 2015 FinCEN settlement where the U.S. government stated XRP was a currency. Another thing I would like to share here, there's a podcast called We Want to Take the Time to Get It Right. The Fed's Montgomery on FedNow. I'm not going to play it because it's 24 minutes and 44 seconds. But if you are a digital asset investor and you're holding digital assets, specifically and especially XRP, then you may want to check this out. And I guess it's also beneficial for the XLM holders as well. But specifically focusing on XRP, you will want to listen to the 24 minutes and 44 seconds. And I believe you're going to be very excited by the time you get to the end of the video. It says by John Heltman. I am not sure if he did both, the write-up for this article and the interview. But it was an excellent interview. And in my opinion, as an XRP investor, I believe and feel that this is the best Fed interview I've ever heard. So again, the link will be provided in the description below. Feel free to go down and click the link. And it will be the AmericanBanker.com will be the link. We want to take the time to get it right. Fed's Montgomery on FedNow. Absolutely an exciting interview from start to finish if you're an XRP investor. Next article, we have the South Korean lawmakers greenlight strict crypto, the AML bill. The South Korean lawmakers voted Thursday to place tough new requirements on cryptocurrency exchanges, adding legitimacy to the country's sprawling crypto economy and potentially triggering a market consolidation down the road. As reported by CoinDesk Korea, the legislation, an amendment to Korea's existing Financial Information Act, shores of South Korea's anti-money laundering AML and counter-terrorism financing CFT framework for virtual asset service providers, the VASPs. The act requires all VASPs to register with regulators and partner with a single bank for deposits and withdrawals. This linkage of virtual assets and real-world bank accounts, both of which must be registered to a user's actual name, will make it easy for regulators to track the movement of illicit funds. Additionally, VASPs must get their systems certified by the Korean Internet Security Agency, a cost and often lengthy process that only 6 companies and exchanges have so far cleared. That could squeeze out Korea's smaller players who cannot afford to take on the regulatory burden. And CoinDesk Korea reports that the exchanges may attempt to consolidate raising funds and banding together to meet the new requirements, but it could also be a death knell for gray area projects trying to take advantage of investors, particularly initial coin offerings, the ICOs, which must follow the registration requirements under the new law. If this passes in Korea, blockchain companies and cryptocurrency will officially be regulated but accepted in Korea. Bad news for scammy ICOs and exchanges, and good news for blockchain professionals in Korea, tweeted Do-won Nam, who works with the maker DAO. The legislation is the latest example of a country working to comply with new AML, the new global AML and CFT directives in the virtual asset space. Ever since the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, issued guidelines for policing VASPs, regulators have been racing to clamp down on a potential illicit activity in their jurisdiction. South Korea's president has 15 days to sign the new amendment into law, and some provisions will take effect 1 year after it's signed, and the full law will come into effect 6 months after that. So you're looking at about 18 months. He has 15 days to sign and about 18 months before it takes in full effect. You have that 1 year plus the 6 months after. Another thing I wanted to discuss in this article was, let's see, where did it go? As far as the exchanges, basically weeding out the scammy ICOs and exchanges as they stated. That's something too that Brad Garlinghouse has mentioned. Basically, as we get closer to the time, all of the like digital assets without a use case would eventually start fading away, and that again will give more use case for the ones who succeed, and also it will minimize, as this article states, the scammy ICOs and exchanges, allowing for that funding to go into the ones with a use case, and it would increase obvious common sense, increase the price and value of that digital asset. Next article I want to discuss is the Hungarian Central Bank allows for instant transfers. The Hungarian Central Bank's MNB has introduced an instant payment system that allows for bank transfers in seconds at any time of the day. The MNB described the immediate payment as cash without cash and said it's helpful and competitive alternative to a cash payment. Before the new system was implemented, Hungarians were forced to wait at least 2 hours before a payment went through and could only receive funds during regular banking hours on weekdays. The instant payments have been provided to all commercial banks in Hungary at no charge, enabling the sending of payments anytime, even on weekends and holidays. Also, according to Hungary Today, the customers will be able to use other forms of identification, such as a phone number or email address, instead of a long account number. And something too, if you are using your wallets for your digital asset storage after sending them from the exchange, whether it's cold storage or hot storage, I think being able to use a phone number or an email address would be much simpler, much easier. And I think, in my opinion, as we'd say, when created the XRP tip bot, you can click someone's name at random at digital assets daily, and you can send it instead of that long identification number. In my opinion, what I think is going to happen. I think whenever it's time for this full adoption and for the random person who is not here today, who is not a contrarian investor, who is not a pioneer of this, as we've been here waiting and many of you have been waiting for years, I think this is the key right here. I think when a normal, regular person, and we always use the grandmother, the grandfather, as being the least tech savvy, and if you have kids today, I mean, they can pick up a phone at 12 months and they're knowing how to use these things. It's amazing. The technology, and it tends to be our parents, if you're older, or their parents' parents, who tend to have the little struggle. So my point is, when it is this simple as today using a bank, which I believe in the next few years it will be easier than even current today's banking, probably just the simplicity of that, and you can send them any money you want, and it will have the safety and security. Many of them are already getting set up with the FDIC, and you have that confidence that your insurance is provided on your digital assets. But I think this is going to be the key for the new people coming on board, and I think of those of us who have been here for years, that is just like a breath of fresh air, like a sigh of relief for the simplicity. And I believe in the time comes, some of us who have been holding for a long time and continue to have a plan to hold percentages for longer periods of time, 25, 2029, etc. I believe there will come a time where you can take your wallet to your bank and just say, here, I just want to cash out, or here, you hold this for me. As Brad Garlinghouse said, banks will be holding XRP in the future in digital assets. Back into the article, the pension payments in the country will still be settled at night, and wage payments will be made during daytime hours. The new initiative was introduced in the country in 2017 in hopes of increasing electronic transactions, and it was originally supposed to launch in July of last year, but it was postponed. In other European payments news, the banking circle is now licensed to operate in Luxembourg after the Commission de Surveillance du Secteur Financier, CSSF, gave the green light. The company, which has been working in the financial industry for the past few years, is now authorized to give institutions access to real-time payments without being restricted by size or borders. Businesses that are in the payments and banking will be able to use the banking circle to find opportunities in new markets without having to make big investments in their own infrastructure. Banking circle already operates in the UK as well as Germany and Denmark, so entry into France will be a big boost for the company. The Luxembourg Minister of Finance, Pierre Gramegna, said Luxembourg was an ideal choice for banking circles' worldwide banking solutions. Next article is Uphold launches world's first multi-asset account and debit card. The digital money platform Uphold disrupts the market with a groundbreaking account that can seamlessly convert cash, crypto, gold, and other commodities into fiat currency that can be used with a debit card. The world's first debit card of its kind unlocks the ability to spend from any asset everywhere MasterCard is accepted. I'll go into this article just a little bit. I don't want to read out the whole thing. But one of his tweets says, if you've ever wanted to buy a bicycle or groceries with assets held in crypto and gold, now you can. And the assets are held in an Uphold account, enabling holders to convert 27 fiat currencies, 24 digital currencies, and 4 precious metals instantly to fiat currency at the time of transaction. The debit card can be used at stores and ATMs where MasterCard is accepted and available for pre-order in the U.S. now. The Uphold MasterCard is the first debit card to make assets such as gold, BAT, and XRP usable and practical in everyday solutions. That is very exciting. Again, as the adoption continues to come on, the technology continues to flow, the NDAs continue to expire, and timelines continue to move forward. As we get closer, it seems to move faster, And again, remember, there is a liquidity problem, a global crisis currently with liquidity that XRP can solve with its on-demand liquidity. Next article, we have Ripple price analysis, and some of the key levels are being broken today. Ripple trades over 3.5% higher today as crypto sentiment turns positive. And I think when some of these companies say Ripple, many times I think they're saying XRP, because XRP is looking positive on the intraday charts as sentiment is positive. From a technical point of view, the triangular formation has broken to the upside too. The retest and push higher was also a good positive confirmation. Another positive sign is a break in the red resistance line. Next up, the 0.2470 area is a point where the bulls could find some stickiness. And if you're new to the space, before the previous name was Ripples, so a lot of news media still continue to call that. Once it became moved on from Ripples, it became XRP. XRP then got rebranded to ODL for its use case, on-demand liquidity. So a lot of people, when you see these articles written that way, and that's exactly why. Let's see here. Wow, I guess eToro just opened up a couple ads, so we'll move beyond that. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with a final thought. Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do. I've always said, love what you do until you can do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life ever again. Again, guys, this is not financial advice. It is entertainment purposes only. Much love to all of you, and we'll catch you in the next one.